anxious, reactive, hard adult dog. We found our adult Border Collie. A separate video comparison of Laika a year ago and now. I was a teacher at school, I was a teacher at university. I look young, but working with dogs, 70 dogs at once. I think most of the dog owners once or several times or maybe quite often in their life may think or may hear from some passers-by, from strangers, that their dog is not trained enough, not it's like not well mannered, or just reactive too much. And yeah, there are different situations. Sometimes it's just not the right day, not the right time. It's like the bad day, yeah, we call. Or sometimes it's the just the weather. Sometimes it's really the absence of sometimes it's really the lack of some social training or some basics of training. Sometimes it's just the lack of connection between the owner and the exact owner and the exact dog. Sometimes it's just these strangers bad bad day, you know, like they feel bad or they are tired, and this is the perspective how they view the world around, because the animals, they are quite good in feeling, in sharing our feelings. So anyway, no matter what's the reason, it's always unpleasant to hear such things, and it's kind of rude actually to tell such things to dog mothers and fathers, because it's not it's not really the dog's problem. What if it's not a dog's problem? And what if it's not the owner's problem? It's not like you are not a bad owner, you are not a bad mom or bad dad to your dog if there is the case of reactivity or there is a case of bad behavior. And it's not a dog who is a bad creature, yeah, who has, I mean, it's not the reason to say that the dog has a bad character or absence of upbringing or something. It happens. It happens sometimes, but it's not the main reason all the time. Hello. Hello. You ran? Wow, you're thirsty now. So this is the reactive dog, and sometimes she's very well, actually she has a very good character. She's a well-behaving dog. She's gentle, she's kind, she's very social. Um, she loves most of the creatures around, except maybe some of them. But in general, really, she has a very good character. But she is also a border collie, so she's a reactive dog. I mean, with a high reactivity, she can be anxious, and she has a quite wide background. I mean, wide, like not regular background for a typical dog, because her life story had many waves of changes, and we actually don't know quite a lot about her background, her baggage, yeah, that she has. Uh, but knowing her breed and knowing her as a personality now, we can say that she has lacks of some some like parts of upbringing, like probably she didn't have enough socialization while she was a puppy. She didn't probably have training, like like a basic training for puppies, you know, some basic commands or just behavioral patterns, because I'm not sure that her previous mommy trained her a lot. So she mainly took everything herself from, because she's quite clever. She's very clever. She's very receptive. So she learned good appetite. She ate a fly a second ago. So she takes all the things very fast, and if you are teaching her, she's a really good pupil. Yeah, she's a really good dog. But if you are not, then I think her genetics starts to work, and as she's a border collie, she, as I've said, accepts very fast both good and bad things that surround her. That's why she had not so much upbringing, I think, as we know, and most of the things she studied herself, I think. That's why she learned a lot, but also for example, when we took her, she didn't know how to, oh, she forgot. She forgot how to walk on a leash. So, how to walk on this, yeah? So, probably they lived in a private house, and after this, she spent most of her life in a dog hotel where she was free, running just all around and working as a border collie, uh, like she was with the other dogs, and she was like guarding the ship, yeah. uh, so that's why she forgot this regular city lifestyle, yeah. Probably she didn't know it, as I've said. So she didn't know how to walk on a leash. She was not used to collar or the vest. She knew what a car is, but still, like when there are so many cars around, so many sounds, so many moving objects, like on the parking lots or just near the houses. Of course, for her border collie's perception, it's too much at once, yeah, because she's now nearly 4 years old, and it means that around 3 years of her life she spent in the farmland, yeah, in that, not isolation. She had a lot of dogs around, but she spent most of her days only with the dogs and some people who worked there. So she loves dogs, she loves people, but she's a kind of afraid of uh, surrounding. She was afraid of city surrounding. So we started with her everything from the very beginning, and I think it can be compared like we took a 3 years old border collie who is an adult dog, but her perception of some things, it's like a puppy's perception, because she didn't know about them. She she already has a quite built personality, so she knows a lot, and she has her character in comparison with puppies, yeah, who just you eat again? Are you hungry? No. So the puppies, they just build their character. They are still more flexible, but for her, in her case, she's already a personality. She's an adult dog. Flexibility is just a part of her character, as I've said. But nevertheless, her character is already well done. Uh, but we need to uh, show her how to behave in a new surrounding, in a new world for her, because it's now a city world, it's a park world, it's I don't know, a world with buses, cars, and traveling. So many things she has never experienced, and now like all this comes all together, because just this is already the reality where we live. So it was quite complicated when we just started, because nobody knew that this is not okay. We knew that it's not a puppy, but nobody knew that this is the puppy in her inside. It's like a kindergarten child, yeah. But we managed. I think we can make a separate video comparison of Laika a year ago and now, when she spent a year with us. What are the changes? Because she's really an interesting case. So, what can we do if we have an anxious, reactive, hard adult dog? First of all, not to call her a bad dog, not to, and secondly, not to call the owner of this dog a bad owner, because sometimes it's just the matter of a day. There are some bad days, but sometimes there are really issues that can be solved with some special attention. I mean, the matters of reactivity, the matters of anxiety. There are different, not only dog trainers, there are different approaches how you can work with your dog to make the life around easier and to make her perception of the world uh, less stressing, more entertaining, and more appropriate. Just make the surrounding more appropriate for your dog, and also it will cause less stress for you as the owner. The anxious, reactive, sometimes bad behavior of our dogs, it's not the reason to get upset. It's the reason to study, it's the reason to investigate and get acquainted with your dog closer, to make the lives, I mean, your life and your dog's life, more pleasant, less stressful, because we are partners. I personally have the viewpoint, I support the viewpoint that we and our dogs, we are partners in our lives. So we live together like the members of the family. And it's not just a pet. That's why I call sometimes the owners, not sometimes, I always call the owners of dogs their mothers and fathers, because it's not a baby child. I mean, it's not a human child, but I really think that having a dog, I mean, conscious having a dog, when you're fully interested and devoted to your dog and the dog to you, usually, it's like having a child, because so many things to take into consideration, so so many things to upbring, so many things to share and to show the world around. It's like to have a child and do the same, to show the world, to teach, to support, to help. So this is my baby. Hey, baby girl, Laika, Laika. So why am I speaking about it? Because I I don't say that I'm a guru, or I don't say that I'm a professional dog trainer or a professional dog I don't know, psychiatrist or somebody. No. But I'm a person with good observational skills. And before, I worked as a teacher in Russia. I was a teacher at school. I was a teacher at university for, let's say, many years. I look young, but then when we moved to Israel, I changed a lot of jobs, and one of them was in a dog hotel. So I had an experience in working with dogs, sometimes with 50, 70 dogs at once. And it's quite a overwhelming experience, because, as I've said, as a person with good observational skills, I study a lot just from experience. And then we got we were lucky because we found our own dog, our adult Border Collie, in the same hotel actually. Uh, she is not a typical dog, as I've said. She has an unusual life story, uh, and she's not an easy case. She's a very easy case from one side. I mean, she with a good character. She with good studying skills. She's well tempered, but on the other hand, she's not an easy case because of her life story, because she had lack of social skills. Also, not all of them. Yes, she had lack of city social skills and some skills. So she was like a puppy, kind of. And so having my own dog now and working with so many dogs around, with so many dogs of different breeds, different sizes, different characters, uh, and just having a deep love to learning, it's as my character trait. Uh, I studied also a lot about dogs in general, especially about reactive dogs, about dogs' interaction and their body language. So, for example, I love the courses in Modern Institute of Dog Training. It was a really nice course. That's why I have some things to share, and that's why I want to support some other moms and dads of reactive dogs and just of dogs in general who are either new parents, yeah, newborn parents, or who are just the parents who want to find the community, yeah, somebody to listen to their bad days, for example, with the dogs, or the existence of really weak sides, yeah. Yeah, careful. That's why we want to get acquainted with you, and we want to share what we know, what we learned, yeah, what we found out becoming a parent of this pretty girl, but really the best one. And we also want to see where we will come and what will be our life in some years, because during this year, the first year of having our Laika, uh, it's already a different life. What we started and where we are now, it's a different story, and it's an interesting story with difficult days and with happy days. And I think everybody's life is like this. Every dog's owner life is with waves, but for sure it's ocean waves or sea waves. Yes, so let's take it as a positive one. So thank you for watching us. Wait for our next video. So thank you for watching us. Wait for the next videos. We will try to make them as often as possible and as interesting as it is.